Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from AC Milan 0, Graham Potter's Chelsea 2. Speaking of Graham Potter, from driving the bus of Leeds Met University students to braving the colds and the freezing snow in Ostersunds to going to Swansea. I went to university there, it's bloody windy. It isn't very nice, it's cold. Then you go to Brighton, you got a bunch of seagulls to deal with. Now you are dominating and conquering 7-time European champions AC Milan 5-0 over 2 games in a Champions League group where Chelsea looked as though we could have been buried by Dynamo Zagreb and RB Salzburg. But the San Siro is ours. Chelsea have won 2-0 in Milan in what is an emphatic victory. Yes, AC Milan went down to 10 men. Yes, you can question whether it's fair that it's a red card, and the fact it was Fikayo Tomori who was sent off for AC Milan isn't really going to put a massive smile on any Chelsea faces, but it's all about the result. Tomori's a Milan player. He got himself sent off. Jorginho converts the penalty, and then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scores again for Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea were brilliant tonight. We controlled the game from start to finish. And I think there is nothing more deserved right now than Chelsea being at the top of the group. I think it finished 1-1 between Dynamo Zagreb and RB Salzburg in Croatia. And this puts us in a totally different frame of mind. We next up go to Salzburg, who look as though they're going to be the toughest competitors for that knockout qualifying spot, because AC Milan, I think, will come good in their final 2 games, but Chelsea can't risk anything going into match week number 5. We were absolutely brilliant. We controlled the game from start to finish. Milan, in the first 15 minutes or so, they did look as though they were a bit more up for it. They looked as though it was going to be a different kind of task. You saw Theo Hernandez back in the team, who's one of their danger man, even as a left back. They were kind of playing with a back 3. When they had possession, he would drop into the middle. And I think for the first 15-20 minutes, Chelsea weren't sure on the best way to be able to deal with this. But we managed to do so. And 21 minutes in, that penalty, we've got to discuss it a little bit, because I didn't think at first that it was a penalty. Now that we've seen the replays and I watched the footage at half-time again, it's definitely a pen, but I think a red card is incredibly fortunate for Chelsea. And of course, when a team's got to play 70 minutes plus with 10 men, it does affect the whole nature of how that game is going to be played. And I think the more positive side from AC Milan in the first 15-20 minutes was kind of just shunned away as soon as Tomori was sent off. But Jorginho converts the penalty. Chelsea 2-0 up at half-time in the San Siro. It's the stuff of dreams. And then the game management in the second half is absolutely phenomenal. And we've got some worrying news right now. Rhys James went off injured. It looked as though it could have been a knee injury, maybe hamstring, I'm not entirely sure. But he stayed on, and then within about a minute after deciding to stay on, he gets skinned by Leao for the first time in 180 minutes of football and ends up going off. We've got to hope that that is nothing serious, but we begin with a green box for Rhys James, who I thought once again, against a player, remember this, Chelsea want to spend 100+ million euros on Rafael Leao, who once more was the brightest spark for AC Milan, but he could not get a sniff out of Rhys James. And when we look at how Chelsea got the penalty that Jorginho then converted to make it 1-0, it begins with a vertical pass from Rhys James after he wins the ball back, gets it forward. Brilliant from Mason Mount, who I thought was outstanding. And we'll talk about him coming off at half-time in a moment. But Rhys James again, he is just the boss. He's the best right back in the world, best fullback in the world. And we've just got to hope that the injury that he managed to pick up in that second half is nothing serious. Because I think until that moment, he just showed that he is the best player on the pitch. And I'm putting all of the attackers, everybody in that stadium, not a single person inside the San Siro is a better footballer than Rhys James. I absolutely believe that to the pit of my stomach and to the core of my being. He was absolutely brilliant, and I think he deserves a green box for box number 1. Box number 2 is Mason Mount. Mason Mount, he seemed to be the forgotten man. We've known for years that people like to give him the name the Clown, or Lampard's son, Tuchel's son, now Potter's son. This is an adoption that just still seems to be ticking over and bubbling. And Mason Mount is officially cooking now for Chelsea. He goes off at half-time, wins the penalty, gets the assist for Aubameyang, and we saw it at the weekend against Wolves. He's contributing. He might not be scoring the goals at the moment, but he's making them. And the little turns that we saw today, he's such an intelligent player spatially, Mason Mount. And I'm not just talking about the pockets that he occupies when he doesn't have the ball, but when he's given the ball, he's not the biggest frame player. And I remember saying years ago with Mount that maybe in order for him to reach the ability that we could see technically with the ball that he has, maybe he's going to have to get a bit stronger. Maybe he's going to have to learn a few different movements and maneuverability things in order to improve his game. And he's done that. When he's got his back into defenders, he can turn them in similar ways to that of Didier Drogba. Drogba used to be able to turn them and then get a shot away and score. Mount isn't that same kind of player because totally different role. But he manages to turn them, win free kicks, get set pieces for Chelsea. And when he gets behind Tomori, yes, I don't say it's a red card, but it is a penalty because he's got his arms all over him and he gets the shot away. But what is the credit to Mason Mount here is that he stayed on his feet. A lot of players, when they feel that minute contact, because it wasn't like Tomori was yanking him to the floor, players, when they feel that minute contact, they go to ground. But Mason Mount didn't do it. And I think the reason the ref has given the pen and therefore the red is a result of Mason Mount staying true, staying up on his feet, getting the shot away and trying to score a goal, as opposed to trying to buy a spot kick. And in the end, Chelsea have reaped the rewards of a very intelligent Mason Mount. Box number 3 is for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It is his 3rd goal in 3 consecutive starts. 2 goals against former club AC Milan. It is massive again from Aubameyang today. What I love about this goal is all of Aubameyang's goals he's scored so far are different kinds of goals, and goals that we have been begging, crying out for from Chelsea strikers for years, since Diego Costa. Aubameyang delivers again, but what I love about the goal is he drops deep again, and then as soon as he drops deep, he gets the ball to Mount, who plays it back in again. It's very smart, intelligent from Sterling, who could have been offside, potentially, probably thought he was. That is what Chelsea have bought with both Sterling and Aubameyang. You get that knowledge, you get that understanding. Aubameyang's coming from behind, and then he buries the ball at the goalkeeper's near post. Other than the goal, I thought his movement was excellent. I thought, and again, we've said it now for the last few games that he's played in, he's dropping deep. He wants to receive the ball. He's not just waiting in the box, which is something that we've been used to from Chelsea attackers in recent times. We're just pummeling the same crosses in. It's not getting anywhere. Opposition defenders are getting rid of it, or we've been profligate in front of goal. That isn't the case with Aubameyang. He gets his chances and he takes them. Could have had 2 or 3 tonight. Brilliant from him. Box number 4 is a green for Jorginho, who I thought was masterful in the midfield today. When you get all of this controversy surrounding the penalty, Tomori didn't want to leave the pitch. He didn't believe it was a red card. You need a cool head in these situations, and it is a perfect penalty from Jorginho. He might have missed 4 in his career, but he was never going to miss this one. He's got his eyes on the keeper all the time. It's a big weight in the San Siro with a lot of pressure on him. And he knows, with the crowd noise, with everything else, AC Milan would be buoyed if he missed that penalty. And he scores it, and then, as a result of the red card, the whole dynamic and shape of the game changes. And Jorginho manages it to perfection today. In the first half, there were a few times where I'm like, maybe you could get it forward a bit quicker. That's always the case with Jorginho, but sometimes you've got to appreciate the way that this man can control and conduct the speed, tempo of the game. He would allow Chelsea players to make their runs, then he would make the diagonal ball. He would switch it from side to side. He controlled things brilliantly, and I also think he got back. Even though Chelsea didn't have a lot of defending to do, he was back fast today. And I think his positional awareness was perfect, and it allowed Chelsea to dictate the play the way that we did. Box number 5, 100 Champions League appearances. Congratulations Thiago Silva. This man is gargantuan. This man is monumental. And like I said, Chelsea didn't have a lot of defending to do, but the moments in the second half where we did, who's the man on the end of it? Thiago Silva. Of course, we are never going to get tired of repeating just how brilliant Thiago Silva is in a Chelsea shirt. We are blessed to have him. 100 appearances in the competition. He's a Champions League winner. And again, he just shows just how good he is in that Chelsea back line. It's 3 clean sheets in a row. 4 wins in a row. Graham Potter unbeaten in his opening 5. And I've given Graham Potter box number 6 because what we saw from Potter tonight, and again, I bring it back to what I said at the beginning. When you look at what this man has done in his career, Leeds Met University, Ostersund, Swansea, Brighton, now he is conquering 7-time European champions, AC Milan, twice without conceding a goal in 6 days. It is sensational, the progression that we are seeing with this Chelsea team. Game by game, we are we're very quickly seeing different football, quality football, reassured defending. Chelsea are back. And I'm going to make a statement here. We're going through now in this group. I firmly believe it. If we can screw this up now, after 2 wins against AC Milan, then I really will be baffled by the sport that we all love so much and the team that has given us so much joy, yet so much over the years. But anyway, Graham Potter's box number 6. Brilliant management as well with Mount on a yellow. The referee, very erratic with his cards tonight. It definitely shaped the game. But Chelsea dominated the game, won the game, and we're top of the group. Let me know the 6 things you learned in the comments down below. If you're not yet subscribed to GBFC, be sure to do so and hit the like button if you can. See if we can get 5,000 on the 6 things we learned. Come on, you Blues.